All right, and we're live with John Lares, booking agent, founder of Cielo agency, talent buyer at the Continental Room, and now part of a cult. How you doing?
I'm doing fucking amazing. How are you?
Very good. Not the Psychic Wave cult. I don't think we've started that yet. We're not taking members quite yet, but you're doing these seminars now, which is super interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Business seminars.
Yeah.
And you're committed, man. You've been driving to San Diego. And for those of you that don't know, that's like 2 hours from here. And it's how's it been working out? You like it?
Yeah. It's a lot of support, a lot of uplifting energy when you're with a group of people that's all committed towards supporting you. Because a lot of times we have the loudest voices in our heads are negative, and that stops us from working with people or working towards something or passion. And it's just like a huge support group that keeps you accountable.
Yeah. There was who was it? It was that guy Kamasi Washington.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something cool that he said. Inspirational quotes to me are kind of stupid sometimes, but he's got one that I liked. It was more like a lesson, and the lesson was be unforgiving and don't settle as far as your dream is concerned, but be flexible with how you get there. So if I have to prostitute myself a little bit just to get Psychic Wave off the ground, if what's that saying? Do the ends justify the means? I think they do.
They do.
No, I don't know, man. I know there's okay. So like, I'm teasing you a little bit because the seminar stuff kind of scares me sometimes. Yeah. So I'm kind of giving you a hard time, but I'm not really. But I've never met somebody that has actually done them, and you always see like the videos of people like just being kind of ruthless, as far as like business is concerned. Do you get that vibe from this whole thing or no?
There is a sense of urgency to it.
Okay.
I wouldn't say ruthless.
Okay.
Because if I give you a day to do something, it's probably going to take you the whole day to do something. If I give you like a prolonged, vague task, like, okay, I need you to call 20 people. You're like, but you have all day to do it. Like, okay, for sure. Like, cool. Or I'd say you have an hour to call 20 people. It's a little bit different. So it's the same thing what we do with our vision, our passion. We say, oh, I want to be a musician or artist for my life. Well, when are you starting? When are you getting into it? And we prolong that for quite some time before we realize, like, fuck, I should have been urgent about it earlier.
That's true, man. I, in my own life, have found that I only work hard when I have a deadline. And when I have a deadline, I get that shit done. Yeah. And usually I get it done pretty well. But if it's not urgent or nobody's stressing me out about it, I oftentimes just let it fall to the wayside. So I get that. And like I said to you before the podcast, I think that it's important to put yourself in tough situations as you're growing or throughout your whole life, I think. And a lot of people that I respect have gone through hard shit, I think that it may make you more calloused and a little bit more cautious of who you trust, but being tough, I think, is very important. And like you said, you've got assignments. I'm not going to say what they are, but you've got assignments that you got to get accomplished. Call 20 people in an hour. And that seriously stresses me out. Like random fucking people.
It stretches people. I mean, no, it doesn't have to. They're not random. It could be anybody.
Oh, I'd call my mom 20 times.
Yeah.
I'd be like, Mom, I don't want to do this. I don't. I'm just kidding. Yeah. But that's interesting, man. Yeah, the seminars and stuff like that have always been difficult for me. Maybe because my skin's not tough enough for that stuff, but it definitely freaks me out sometimes. To be around a bunch of people that, man, it seems like I'm swimming in a shark tank. You know what I mean? And there's all these other people around me that are like trying to get ahead in life. And they're like, I just feel so like suffocated by it.
Well, that's the nice thing is that everyone lives in different parts of the country and we're all in various industries. It's not like we're all in the music industry. We're all in this type of industry. So
right.
It's if I'm in the music industry and you're in upholstery and like your vision is to do the sickest upholstery.
Yeah.
What do I have to lose by your success? Absolutely. I don't think it's one of our limiting beliefs is comparing ourselves to other people. So this program works against that entire belief.
Well, I think that even in the music industry, like say Psychic Wave never goes anywhere with anything. It just always stays at this level. Mm-hmm. And say Cielo agency, John Lares becomes one of the biggest fucking booking agencies doing the coolest shit. How does that harm me at all? We're in the same industry. I think it, more than anything, your peers' success is good for everyone.
That's right.
If we can get more money flowing into the music industry for the people that we know and we like, why the fuck would we care?
Yeah.
But I think people, they get scared of that. They feel like it's all competition and they've got to play it too cool. But what I meant more realistically was that it stresses me out being in... how do I put this? I don't even know how to say it. But being around a lot of business people, like to me, I feel like there's a disconnect between their business and like who they are at the end of the day. And for some reason, that disconnect makes me uneasy. You know what I mean? It's like the way they treat me during business hours would not be the way they would treat me after hours. Would they give me the time of day if we weren't doing business right now? Probably not. Maybe I take that too close to the chest, but I don't know. Do you ever get that feeling that people... No, you don't?
I used to.
You used to.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're a cool cat.
No, because a lot of times we assume no before yes instead of leading yes and then figuring out no later. And so that's kind of I used to reject myself before even approaching somebody because I would assume that why would they want to talk to me? Like, what do I have to offer them? Mm-hmm. Would they even give me the time of day? And when I sourced positive energy, if I go into a group of friends feeling like shit, complaining, obviously I'm sourcing negative energy.
Yeah.
And
they're going to be like, dude, why the fuck are you hanging out with us?
Right.
You're in such a bad mood.
Yeah. It's the same thing with meeting new people and working with new people.
See, that's the thing is like meeting new people and working with new people when it comes to the business that I do, I'm very comfortable with. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to meeting some guy that is actually like in a different industry than me, I feel like it's almost a waste of time talking to them for me. Cause I'm like, why are you talking to me? You don't give a shit about what I'm saying. But that's my own personal stuff, I guess. But I think this seminar thing, I'm personally still not sold on it. But what I do like from it, what I'm getting from it, is that it teaches people how to build a thicker skin so that they can accomplish their goals without being nervous to reach for what they want. Which I think, I'm not saying that you didn't have that ability before, but I'm saying I'm getting that it probably just makes you a tough motherfucker when it comes to like business.
So what I'm hearing is that I grew this piece of armor over, and it's quite the opposite actually. You learn to open up more instead of shielding and protecting yourself from certain things, and a lot of the damage that happens is from within. Very few times am I like other people are screwing me over. That's super, I can count with one hand in all the years I've been like working, I guess. And most of the times it's me hurting myself or speaking to myself or things like,
setting yourself up for failure.
Exactly.
Yeah, we all do that, I think. And I guess what I'm saying is that if I were to figuratively take this course, I feel like the end result would be, I guess, yeah, I'd just be more comfortable in every situation. Groups of people still weird me out, man. It still weirds me out. I'm not saying what you're doing is a bad thing, but when I get a group of too many people in suits together, I don't know why.
Super casual.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's actually,
Okay.
The people in this vary from, there's a high school student in there and there's a lady who's 85 years old.
Damn. What kind of business does she do, dude?
None of them have anything to do with business. It's all about personal development and emotional intelligence.
Okay.
Some of the goals and assignments could help you in business, but they're not directly tied to your business. It's not like, okay, if you join, we need Psychic Wave Podcast to have 1 million subscribers in 3 months. Like, it's not.
Got it.
Because it has to be something universal that everybody can do.
You've been doing this for like 6 weeks now?
Since the beginning of the year.
Okay.
So, but yeah, about 7 weeks.
What made you want to do it? Like, because driving to San Diego is a commitment.
Mm-hmm.
And you're a hard worker. You do Cielo agency. That's your booking agency that you founded. And then you're a talent buyer, which dealing with bands. You have 2 jobs where you deal with bands. Bands fucking suck to deal with sometimes. And it's hard. It's hard work is what I'm saying. So what drove you to say, yeah, I'm going to drive to San Diego and do this thing and make this commitment?
Seeing the shift in my sister. She was the person that took it first. I was in China during last summer and she started calling me more often. I didn't have a decent relationship with her.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't speak much.
Yeah.
And had a lot of built up tension, and seeing her release that and develop a better relationship with me and my family, start shifting her behavior and the way she communicated with us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people don't change that fast. And she started talking to me. We had an open dialogue about my vision and what I wanted to accomplish and do. And she suggested this course. I was like, okay. Or it's more, yeah, you can call it a course because it's over the period of 6 months.
Mm-hmm. How old is your sister?
She's 28.
Okay. And how old are you?
Or actually, she's going to be 30. 24.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. So do you feel that it made her more introspective and gave her the ability to focus on parts of her life that needed fixing?
Yeah. And It's not all about business. There's a lot of additional areas of your life that could be improved on.
Dude, I got a lot of shit I need to improve on. A lot. And recently, taking even like the YouTube side of what I do more seriously, you have to, or me personally, I've been focusing more on like, how do I present myself to other people?
Mm-hmm.
And how do I want to be perceived? And the truth is, I want to maintain this. Not necessarily Modelo, but I want to maintain the fact that I can do whatever I want, wherever I want, but still somehow give people the impression that I'm a hard worker and I can get any of their business shit done. And those are very two opposite things because people don't classically trust people that look like this. But, defining those things and figuring out what you want from yourself and actually giving yourself a definition is super hard.
Yeah. Well, the great thing about something that we do, you want to know how you show up in the world and how you show up in the lives of people that you care about.
Right.
This is a container that gives you real-time feedback from 70 different people of their impression and their experience of you.
You've got like 70 people in the thing? Okay.
Including coaches, and some of the people involved are therapists or psychiatrists, and everyone's in different fields. So you out of that group of people, it's bound to be someone's from the medical field. But yeah, you're placed in a container and you're getting real feedback about your character and how you show up.
Yeah.
And
I wonder, I mean, I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit, but if you're all taking the same course, is the feedback necessarily unbiased? I feel like it could be a little bit biased, but I guess to play devil's advocate to that, if you're all working towards improving yourselves and being honest, and everyone is being honest, then it's not an issue.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's so long. You do go through. You start with a larger group, and by the end of it, there's only so many people, just because no one's forced to be there.
Yeah.
And
is this a pay-as-you-go sort of thing, though? Is there any
you
sort
pay
of
for the whole course?
Okay,
up front.
Okay, pay up front, and so if you don't like it, you just don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So, how many people do you think there will be by the end of it? Do you think you'll make it?
I'm making it.
All right.
Yeah.
So, but, so you've got 70 people in it right now, about
Now it's like 40.
40.
Started with almost 100.
Oh, really? Wow. How many of those people's names do you know? Just curious. I mean, like,
In this group,
yeah.
every single one of them.
Oh, really?
And when you first start,
Yeah.
unless you're the type of person to approach 70 people and introduce yourself and really remember something about them and their name, you learn very soon that you don't do that in real life.
Right.
Many people don't.
I mean, I definitely don't do that. I mean, here's the thing. I feel like I remember the people that I want to remember.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you are a talent buyer. You know how many people, I know how many people hit you up to either get favors from you or to get their band booked that are just complete assholes. I've dealt with it before. They have no professionalism. Their band probably sucks. And they just hit you up, or they see you outside of a venue and they're like, oh, hey, blah, blah, I'm, blah, blah. Do you really want to remember that guy's name?
Why not?
I don't have that much room in my brain, dude. Maybe you have a larger capacity than I do, but I can't hold all that. I feel like there's a limited amount of space for me,
You'd be surprised how many people are reaching out to me digitally.
Mm-hmm.
There's no personal connection there. You can email me for 3 years and then I'll start having some type of relationship with you. But if we've exchanged like 10 emails, we've never seen each other in person, how do we really have a relationship? I still wouldn't be able to pick you out of a crowd unless I look you up. But the number of people that attempt to make a personal relationship with me, there's not that many people. We have digital relationships. We email, we're on Facebook. They like my Instagram posts, watch my stories. But have we sat down and spoke for an hour and a half or 2 hours, or grabbed lunch or something?
You're right. That's definitely different. And the people that make the effort to do that, I think, definitely stick more.
Yeah.
The first time you came here, it was like, I didn't know how to spell your last name. I had to double check. Now, I know how to spell your last name. I know how to say it. And I it stuck with me. I think personal interaction is probably, that's actually hard. So I was going to say that I think personal interaction is the best way to do business, but in such a digital age, a lot of business that I've done has been with people I've never met. J.R. Gast of Donut Sounds Records. I just did some work with him. I've never met that guy. He's in Seattle, Washington. But I know his name. Mostly because I did business with him. Yeah. But I feel like, I don't know, you can't remember everyone that comes up to you, though.
No.
It would be nice to. It would definitely be nice to be like a super fast AI computer and just have a memory card of everyone,
But if you recognize faces, then
yeah. Do you feel bad about yourself when like you recognize somebody but don't know their name and you're talking to them and you're like, fuck, I know this guy?
Yeah, but that's feedback because I don't know. I didn't take the time to be present when I was with them and really remember their name.
That's
Especially
true.
somebody that I've seen in multiple places and various occasions, and I still don't know their name.
Yeah. Maybe because you didn't, actually go up to them or have a conversation with them. I've been thinking about that too. Like, I enjoy drinking from time to time, especially with close friends. And in most situations, I don't want to drink, but in the rock scene, it's like you're at a bar, you're with a band, you're making music, you're hanging out with your friends. Having a beer is just nice.
Yeah.
It's not necessary, but it's nice. But when I think about how many people I've met at, say, even the Continental room,
Mm-hmm.
and I've had a conversation with them, and then I see them a month from then, and they're like, "Hey, Drew, right?" And I'm like, "I do remember talking to you, but I think I was drinking." You know, I think that's my version of being out of my element, or not in the moment, or not focused, not present.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to live that life, to be, I don't know, rock stars aren't the businessmen. You know what I mean? They have guys like you that are doing their hard work so that they can do the whole rock and roll thing. But my point is that alcohol, I think, inhibits more business. Wait, inhibits? Right now it's fucking up my brain as well as other things. But I don't know if alcohol is as necessary as we think it is in the music industry. I think it's everywhere. And I think it's caused a lot of people to not meet their goals. Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
How do you drink at all?
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes? Yeah. Do you view what we're doing right now as work?
No.
No? I do.
It's what you do every day.
I mean, yeah, it's something that I do often enough. But it's funny, the people that come through here on the podcast, some of them will drink, some of them won't. And I've noticed the ones that don't are definitely more focused. You know, the podcast where I drink, especially when you have a whole band on here, we're just trying to get to know each other. We're trying to have a good time. We're trying to loosen up. We're trying to be funny. But with people like you, booking agent, talent buyer, there's a level of consciousness that you need to have a solid conversation. How many times have you met a band and they are drunk off their asses trying to talk to you, or just anybody trying to do business with you? Because you have to be at the Continental room for a lot of the shows that go on, right?
Yeah, I get to be there a lot.
How often do you have some drunk dumbass come up to you?
Not often.
Not often.
Mm-mm.
Do you remember them?
Some of them.
Yeah. Some of them, when they're super dumb. Yeah. So, speaking of drunk dumbasses, one of my favorite ones, Nani Cerna of Bundy. I love that dude so much.
Yeah.
I truly do. He's one of my favorite people. I'm wearing a Bundy t-shirt because I love that band. And they are now doing, or they're part of Cielo agency.
Mm-hmm.
How did that happen? How did you guys make that bridge?
Well, over time, I've seen them, haven't made a connection, but I know who they were. I've seen them at shows and whatnot. Just working at the Continental room,
Mm-hmm.
I talk about bands every single day, and in that conversation, it's not always just about, hey, do you like their music? What do you think about the music? What do you think about their aesthetic? What do you think about this?
The lead singer's blue hair is so hot.
Yeah. What do you think about the lead singer dyeing his hair blue? No, it's
Yeah.
not all about just the music. It's about persona and character of bands and work ethic and
Mm-hmm.
how they show up. And Bundy made an impression on a lot of people that I know.
Yeah.
And
They're hard workers, man.
so enough people had mentioned them without me asking, oh, what do you think about this band or that band? I rarely ask. So when people are mentioning how much they love this band and how much they work and everything like that, it's I just looked into it, and sure enough, they are the type of people that are ideal to work with. They are.
Nani has never bailed on me.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever bailed on me.
That band has a holds a high integrity.
Yeah. And, he told me, he's like, look, my birthday came around, and I'm quoting him. He said, it's time to piss or get off the pot. He's like, am I going to do this rock and roll thing? Is this band really going to go anywhere? And then he said, I'm just going to go for it super fucking hard. I'm going to work myself to the bone. I'm going to burn this candle at both ends. And
Yeah, shut the back door.
you know what's funny is I thought Nani was doing that anyway. I thought Nani has always been a hard worker. And then he tells me, he's like, I'm going to ramp it up. I'm going to stop being a dumbass. And I'm like, well, you're always going to be a dumbass. But you've always worked hard. I've never had a moment in my life where I'm like, Nani could have done better than that. He always works super hard. And everybody else in the band. But Nani, of course, is I would say one of the two faces of Bundy. And I'm glad that you guys are working together.
Yeah, man.
How many bands do you have now under Cielo Agency?
10 projects, 9 like groups of musicians. One inspired in the sleep. One Max has a side project that I work with him.
Oh, okay.
But 9 bands.
So how do you have any time to sleep? You told me
you make time.
Your schedule.
You make time. I think 6 to 8 hours of sleep is fine.
Yeah.
And most of the nights I'm at 5 or 6 hours, sometimes less.
Mm-hmm.
But there are days that I get to sleep 8 hours. So,
I always ask people this, like, do you have any dietary restrictions? Like, are you a vegetarian, vegan, any of that stuff?
No.
So, a lot of my friends are half and half.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they're either, vegetarian, vegan, or don't have any dietary restrictions. I find that I have no scientific evidence to back this up, but my friends that don't have any dietary restrictions are usually much more unhealthy. We're always at Del Taco at 2 a.m. or getting a cheeseburger, together. And it's just funny because I think that correlates with sleep a little bit, because my diet, when I'm eating like shit, I don't get good sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And when I have a lot of shit to do, I end up just either eating healthy because I don't have the time to go out and eat junk food. I don't have the time to not be at 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, sometimes when I'm running around, I just want to get a cheeseburger, some fries, and a Coke. Where do you spend most of your time working? Do you travel a lot for the bands that you work with, or is most of your stuff behind a desk?
I did that last year.
Okay.
Last year I was always on the road. I was on the road a little over 6 months out of last year. And
being on tours,
vacations, visiting family and friends and colleagues, just always traveling. I was independent, strictly doing Cielo stuff with freelancing websites or small graphic design on the side, or mixing. I would do some dance mixes for cheerleading squads or other DJs, and
just putting in the work.
Yeah. This year I was living off of since I was traveling so much and didn't have, Cielo doesn't provide that kind of 6-figure income where you can just be traveling all over the place and,
right.
So a lot of my expenses were accumulated by debt and credit.
Yeah.
And so now I'm in a phase where I get to eliminate all of that, build more, and then continue to build or work in different businesses that provide multiple streams of revenue, instead of putting all of my eggs in the Cielo basket.
Right.
I can still stretch and still maintain because making money on the side, placing myself in other, even at Continental Room, is the flip side of what Cielo is.
Right.
And so that's really to learn different perspective of buying and working with artists. It's just a slightly different interaction.
They're both hard. really hard. I mean, they seem hard to me, somebody that doesn't do them or do that kind of work very often. But dealing with bands in general, so it's like if you could be a manager,
Mm-hmm.
you know, or a project manager, that's hard on its own. And then to do that with 10 bands or 9 bands and then a side project, that's tough, man. And I don't know how you do it, is what I'm saying. I mean,
You just got to be laser with everything you do.
yeah, but I can't. I mean, I feel like you worked your way up to having 10 bands. How many bands did you have maybe 6 months ago?
4.
4. Now you got 10.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting good at it. You're getting really good at it. Or all 10 of them hate you. They're like, damn it, John never spends any time on me. No, I'm kidding. But obviously you've worked your way up and you've worked out the kinks and now you're able to manage 10 bands. But we actually have a question from a listener.
Oh, dope.
John Denault says, question, how many times have you walked away from listening to a potential talent and wanted a drink?
I don't drink very often.
Wanted to smoke.
Just wanted to hit the next button.
The next button, yeah.
Like a music supervisor where I'm just like 3 seconds of every band. It's like nope.
Yeah.
No. I listen to hundreds of bands a day. Like I don't know. Like am I working with hundreds of bands? No. So I don't want to go into too detail of what the selection, like what my criteria is for working with artists, but it ultimately boils down to if I like the music and if I like their character.
Right.
And that's what it boils down to. There's no like they don't fit my business model or anything like that.
Right. Well, right now, I mean, you've got 10 bands or 10 people working with you. Right now you can definitely pick who you want to work with just based off of if you like the music, if you like their character, they seem like they'd be easy to work with, or like they would actually listen to your advice. But if Miley Cyrus comes in and she's like actually has the potential to be part of Cielo agency, there's no way you're gonna pass that up. Or say Susan Boyle or anybody that you've got to do the business thing, which is represent your client and take that cash cow and milk it. Do you see yourself in the future being uncomfortable with that situation?
I get to everyone that I work with teaches me something, whether they know it or not. So the ones that are going to teach me a lot, I get to work with them. There's I don't look at it like, oh, I'm assuming that this person treats their agents or treats the people they work with like shit. You source what you are. And so if that's what I'm sourcing this type of behavior and this type of attitude and the work ethic.
Maybe. Some people are actually cunts though. Like these big people. Like, I understand what you're saying. Like, you definitely try to pull the energy that you want or pull the reaction that you want out of the people you're working with. And I'm not calling Miley Cyrus a cunt. I don't think she is. But, it's a classic trope that rock stars are dicks. It happens. And how are you going to cope with that? Like, I'm only giving you these questions because you're in a position that I probably will never be in. Managing bands or being a booking agent, running a booking agency, that seems really hard to me. And I want to kind of flex those muscles of yours and see what you have to say. So how would you work with a band that is bringing in a lot of money but are complete fucking assholes to you?
It's all how you show up. If I want to show up in their lives a certain way and for a certain amount of time, well, I have that decision.
Right.
I work with I don't allow other bands, other people in general to affect the way I show up and the way that I behave and turn out in the world.
Right.
So if there's somebody that's talking to me or treating me a certain way, that doesn't change the way I show up in their lives. And so nothing that I do is going to change because of their behavior. But I do go through direct feedback, you know, sometimes a little bit it's vulgar. It's not like beating around the bush. It's just like, you're fucking up right now and you need to step your shit up. That says, you know, no one's really questioning my moral character. I'm like, John, you're a piece of shit. I don't know why you're working with artists. Like, it's nothing, you know. So somebody having a bad day, and a lot of times we allow other exterior things that happen to us, exterior circumstances allow us we pretend to be victims and live in a story that when something happens to you, it's because of this or because of that. Yeah. And so that reflects and that shows up in how you are in other people's lives. And so I don't take anything that a band will tell me personally. It's just like, okay, well, you're having a bad day, so I'm just going to keep doing me and just bringing you shows or bringing you, you know, good.
But everybody's
got
a limit, man. Like I really value that you have that wherewithal to have that be the forefront of what you're trying to produce for a band. But you're a human. You've got a limit, you know? And at the end of the day, sometimes we don't get all of our goals accomplished. Yeah. And we've had people be complete fucking assholes to us. And I'm not saying at all that you can't handle that. But, you know, I've dealt with that in my life, and it fucking sucks. I go home at the end of the day and just want to fucking veg out. And the next day, I'm kind of pissed off, but I still get up and I go do my work. What would it take for John Lares to snap? Because, like, I've snapped on people many times. Not usually people that I do business with. But I have told people to back the fuck up. You're putting me in a really bad situation, and it's not cool, and I'm not fucking around. Has that happened for you in the booking agency world? Because we're all human. Our emotions get the best of us sometimes, and yeah, you're working with these bands, but sometimes two people are having a bad day.
Yeah. Or the whole band is having
band is having a bad day. The whole band is about to break up. Everybody's pissed drunk. They can't find the van, and it's all John Lares' fault.
Yeah. I don't really snap. That's my problem. And that's where and me not like changing my emotion to angry or frantic makes people that are angry and frantic even more, you know, make them angrier because they feel like I have no sense of urgency towards their problem.
I could see that. Yeah.
And that's what I'm working on right now is creating a sense of urgency.
Creating a sense of urgency.
Because if you call me and you're like, John, my car's broken in the middle of the freeway right now, and let's say you're my brother, you are my brother. Just kidding.
Yeah. All right.
And I'm just like, all right, dude. Yeah. Like I'm at like In-N-Out right now. I'm just about to order. So like, I'll get to that. Like when I'm done eating, and it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like I'm in danger right now. And so obviously hitting me up like, hey John, what time are we supposed to load in again? Like it's not the same type of urgency, but you do need to address a lot of different things simultaneously. And so not responding quickly creates a sense of lack of urgency. Right. And that is where I have experienced myself lacking is in urgency.
I could see that. Yeah, I definitely myself, I'm not saying this is you, but I in the past was, like I said, not a procrastinator fully, but I would put things that weren't so pressing off to the side. And I could definitely see how as a band, if I'm working with somebody and I don't get back to them, or they don't get back to me immediately, I would be like, well, I know they got this message. They don't give a fuck, obviously. And truth be told, that happened to me today. So I'm hosting a show March 12th at the Continental Room. Thank you. And there was a band that I wanted to play, and I messaged them 2 weeks ago, and I did a follow-up like 3-4 days after that. Didn't respond. I saw that they saw the messages, so I said, all right, time to move on. Time to look for other bands. That band hit me up today, 2 weeks later, saying, oh yeah, let me check. Who else is playing? And I'm like, dude, you are no longer in the running for this. Like, I've already moved on. And the truth is, personally, I shouldn't feel bad. That just happens. Sometimes you don't get back to somebody, whatever. But personally, I was like, dude, come on. Like, I took my time reaching out. This is your chance to get paid. This is your chance to play a show and make some new fans. And you put off getting back to me for 2 weeks. It does not feel good. Am I going to message them a fucking hate mail thing? No. I'm just going to message them back and be like, sorry, this spot has been filled.
Mm-hmm. Do you still like them? Their
Oh,
music?
yeah, of course. Yeah.
Would you work with them again?
I would work. So the chance that I will hit them up for the next one is now less.
Yeah.
But based on how they perform, I would still hit them up if there was a lineup of bands that made sense to have them be on it. But I would not give them as much time to respond. I would send them one message and be like, hey, can you do this? I'd give it a day or two and then just move on. I would not even send a follow-up for this one. And I guess that's me putting my personal stuff.
How many times does someone have to, let's say, like avoid you or not communicate with you or
I think
insult you? What's the like strikes for you?
I think 3 strikes.
Yeah.
Honestly. And if I have a close relationship with them or they have a relationship with somebody that I know, I tend to be more forgiving, but usually it's 3.
Yeah.
And
after 3, if somebody still wants to work with you,
it's hard. We're in the music industry, man. If they start to blow up and they want to work with me after being a fucking dick to me 3 times, but they're blowing up, I would have to have a realistic conversation with myself about, is it right for me to work with this person?
You have to have you get a clear conversation with them.
I think we would need to talk. Before we do business. We would actually have to sit down, have a conversation, and have me tell them, like, look, I'm really glad that you hit me up, but I have some things I want to talk about because I don't want to have bullshit going into us doing business together.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can't continue this, I get it. But you have to work it out. I think being scared of confronting somebody is a lot of what makes people hold in like hatred for somebody. It's like John cut me off in traffic the other day. Now I see him at the supermarket. I could joke around and be like, "Hey dude, use your blinker next time." And you would be like, dude, I'm sorry." But if I go up to you and I'm like, "Oh, hey, John, how's your day?" and I just never address it, we both know that we're hiding that shit.
Yeah.
And it just makes the relationship bad.
One thing that helps is clearing that with people.
Yeah.
We both, Andrew, when you didn't respond to my message, the story I made up in my mind was that you don't care about me and you don't care about what we're doing together and what we're working towards.
I definitely get that. Here's my dilemma, and actually here's something that like I want to address with a lot of people is, how do you respond to somebody's question that you have no answer for yet? Like there's no new information.
You ask them a question.
You ask them a question?
So someone asks you a question you don't know the answer to, well then answer with the question.
Well, no. I mean, like, you were talking to me about like, hey, do you have any of the bands locked down for the Continental show?
Yeah.
And I had no new information. So I think it was like maybe a day or two went by before I messaged you back. And when I messaged you back, I did have information. Or no, I didn't even message you back. I told you when you got here. But it's been like a day or two since you saw that I saw that message. Is that appropriate? Do you think? Or do you think I should have gone about it a different way? I'm not putting you on the spot.
We're accustomed to a lot of people in the music industry behave similarly.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't reply for a week and then they just say, hey, here's a full lineup. Okay, tight.
Right.
Some people are much more micro communicators.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Andrew, I just heard back from this band and, they're saying they're going to check with the other bandmate.
Got it.
And so everyone's giving you like the fucking play-by-play.
That kind of stresses me out.
Or you just in a couple of days say, hey, still process is a little stagnant, but I'm keeping you posted. I'll let you know as soon as I hear back from something.
I think that's probably what I should have done. I said, hey, John, got your message. Still working on it.
Perfect.
But what's hard about that is a sense of failure and not following through. It's like, John, I do not have all the bands right now. I'm working on it. If I was really fucking sick at this, I'd have them all like that. You know what I mean? So maybe, to be honest, there's a sense of like, fuck. If I message them right now and tell them I don't have it, that makes me look bad. But on the other end, if I don't respond, that looks bad too. Thankfully, I got the bands all locked down. But, it's working with humans is hard.
You do have to, everyone communicates differently. Mm-hmm. So you just have to feel everyone and their styles out. For me, if you were saying, hey, John, I'm still working on it, I at least appreciate that you
just sent me that middle finger emoji.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
And you're checking in, middle finger back. Like,
yeah.
All right, dope.
Fuck off, dude. Yeah.
But I know you, and so I wouldn't take, if you did that, I would have laughed.
You'd be like, dude, come on.
I would be like, all right, I'll get off, I'll back up a little bit.
No, I would never do that to you. But I'm glad that you would let me. So what does Cielo Agency want by the end of this year? What do you want for your booking agency that you founded to have accomplished before 2020?
A tribe.
What?
A tribe.
A tribe?
Mm-hmm.
He's going full cult. Cult? I said that with an O. Full cult.
No, dude, just a team.
A team.
I've been lone wolfing this for a long time.
Lone wolfing.
Yeah, and it's.
So you want to bring on more employees?
Team members,
aka we're not paying you. No,
it depends on what they do.
Right.
It's just like any other company. If it's a sales job, you could get paid a base with commission or just work straight commission. Mm-hmm. If you're doing other types of things, then you get paid a base or a salary.
Right.
So my goal is to make certain moves to where the company can afford to bring and hire new team members.
Right.
And if that means pulling revenue from other streams and dumping it into that to take, to kick it off the ground, in-house and working with press and PR companies and kind of having this in-house publicity, in-house team to work on tour promotions and down that alley, that'd be great because then it's a full functional machine.
I get what you mean. That makes sense. Yeah. And I that seems reasonable. You had 4 bands 6 months ago. Now you've got 10 people you're working with. I could see you having more ins in like the PR section and having people that are more dedicated to working with you in that sense. So, we're at the end here.
Awesome.
I'm going to ask you 2 questions. I ask everybody that comes on the podcast. Number 1. Let me first start by saying, if you have any questions live viewers for John Lares, founder of Cielo Booking Agency and talent buyer at the Continental Room. If you have any questions related to that kind of stuff, please type it in right now, and I will get to your questions after I ask him mine, and he'll have a chance to answer them. And no, he's not going to strip for you if you pay him. I already asked him that at the beginning. So
Not on camera.
sorry, not on camera. Snapchat Premium, hit him up. Okay, so my first question is, give us one band, artist, or musician that you hate.
We've had this conversation.
I ask
before.
everybody. Yeah, you were on last time. But I have another one at the end of this, which is a good one.
You want me to name? So you want me to cut the tie and say,
Yeah, you're never going to work with them again. Psychic Wave.
The Psychic Wave.
I'll give you one too. I'll think of one that I haven't said. Okay, so
nope, can't think of anyone.
Truthfully, I've tried. You're a very good politician, by the way. But I'm going to throw myself under the bus. I have tried many a time to get into Built to Spill, and I just can't. Built to Spill, I know lots of people love them. I'm not saying I hate them so much, but I don't like them. I'll press skip. Sorry.
That's feedback. It's not good or bad.
It's not my taste. It's just, that doesn't mean they're bad. I just don't like it. Doesn't mean they're bad. They make music. I'm sure, people love them. They're famous. Duh. They're doing all right. What I say is not going to bring down their career. So the last question I have for you, since you so slyly didn't answer the last one, is give me one artist, band, or musician that we should be listening to.
Well, I don't know. This is an artist I always recommend is Thundercat.
Oh, yeah. Thundercat's
so
good.
If you're so into the music industry, you're like, well, fucking duh. Obviously, Thundercat.
Yeah.
Then I would say Toro Imoa's side project, and also the keyboardist for the internet side project, Matt Martian.
What's Toro Imoa's side project?
Lessons.
I
think it's DJ project. I think he DJs as Lessons.
Oh, okay.
And
he produces the music that he DJs? Yeah. Okay, cool. And what was the last one?
Matt Martian.
What is that?
Like future Neo's like, and I'm probably gonna trip up on the description, but
that doesn't matter.
Like Neo Soul, like he's a member of the internet, so you're gonna get some of that vibe in there.
Yeah, you're a DJ as well, right? You've done your part DJing. I think I've actually seen you DJ at the Continental Room once.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Yeah. I didn't walk away thinking it was bad, so.
Depends on what it is. I always have to shift playlists based on where I'm at.
That's true.
But
I used to DJ house parties back this summer after high school, and we would sell NOS.
Oh, God.
And, everybody was doing Vicodin. I didn't know I had a Vicodin allergy, but every time I took Vicodin, I kept throwing up. And then I was like, oh, duh, I've got a Vicodin allergy. But, man, that was fun. DJing around Whittier house parties and, actually becoming good at DJing. Learning your chops and learning how to mix crazy shit. But, man, people don't appreciate it like they should. They look at a DJ as just somebody that pressed play.
You press play at the right times.
Yeah, but there's DJs that do vinyl. There's DJs that actually mix their own stuff. Sure. DJs that scratch.
Yeah.
And then DJs that are just
provide a vibe.
Yeah.
If there wasn't a DJ, would you rather have Pandora or Spotify playlist?
Only if it's premium.
If you're a tastemaker, I gotta respect that. Even if you're not, even if you do a quote unquote podcast and you interview someone for 20 minutes, and then the rest of the podcast you're basically mixing live music. Right. Sounding like Selection Radio. But let's say that mix wasn't done live, and because Joe K is out on the road and he can't bring a fucking DJ with him to wherever he's at. Yeah. And he mixes it all on. Say he does do a little live mix, and then he just uploads it and he's live, but his mix is playing already. Right. Can't knock him for doing that. I guess if you're selling tickets and you are a live performer, and you're doing, free mixes, then there's some level of like, it's like lip singing for DJs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree with you there 100%. I'm glad we see eye to eye on that. Not many people do. So we got Boy Sully saying Thundercat 100 emoji, and then we got Twanner saying Built to Spill sucks. Definitely right. Twanner, thanks for backing me up on that. And John Lares, thank you so much. That's the end of it. I appreciate it. Thanks for being super honest. And wait. Somebody said, "Do you hate DJ Pauly D?" This is to you. Do you hate DJ Pauly D?
If I was gonna give you that answer, that person just answered that question for me.
Okay, he does. All right, guys. Thank you.